Hello and welcome to Gadget First. Today we'll be taking a look at the Motorola Milestone 2. It's the new Android QWERTY slider from Motorola. Let's brush over the main features first and then we'll go deeper into the phone. So on the front you have a 3.7-inch WVGA resolution touchscreen. It's capacitive touch, so you barely have to put any pressure on it whatsoever. It's a really glossy front, so it does look fairly nice, although it can collect fingerprints fairly easily. On the back we've got a 5-megapixel camera with autofocus and dual LED flash. We've also got this nice speaker bar here. On top we've got the 3.5mm headphone jack and the unlock button. On this side we've got a micro USB port for syncing and charging. On the bottom we've got the microphone. And on the right hand side we've got a dedicated camera key and also the volume rocker. And obviously the biggest feature of the phone is of course the QWERTY keyboard. It's a 4-row QWERTY keyboard with pretty much all the keys you'll need. The camera also records HD video at 720p at 30 frames per second, so that's really nice, smooth, detailed video. And it's also got a 1 GHz Texas Instruments OMAP processor, which basically means it will run all the apps on the phone really smoothly, and it's a genuinely powerful phone. Right, so let's unlock the device now. So you can slide this way to put it on silent, or you can turn the sound on, or you can slide this way just to unlock the phone. And this is the default Motorola Moto Blur home screen. As you can see, it works fairly smoothly. It's not quite as smooth as the stock Android home screen or HTC Sense, well, that does work fairly well. And you get all these widgets as well, which make it easier to use, like this Facebook widget, so I can set my status on my Facebook account. There's the Happenings widget, which basically gives me all the feeds from my social network accounts and puts them into one messaging inbox, so I can see what everyone's doing quite easily. And also you can tap and hold and you can resize the widgets however big you want. So if I want it that size, I just do that and there we go, it's that size then. If I want it larger, then it automatically fits the content into the right size. And you can obviously move it around anywhere on the home screen that you want, and then you can get rid of it by dragging it down to the bin. The social networking side of things is also integrated in your Contacts app. If I tap on the Contacts icon, it loads up all my Facebook contacts that is synced with Facebook. It will also work with Twitter and other social networking accounts, and I can slide across to see people's latest status updates, and I can go back to all my contacts and go across to the history of who I've called, who I've texted, and who I talked to on my social networking accounts. So yeah, the integration on social networking really works very well. And as this is a Google Android phone, you can expect all of the Google applications. There's a standard dialer. There's Google Market, so I can download and buy new apps and games. There's Google Maps. There's the standard Android browser built in. So that just lets me browse the internet. It's got Flash 10 support, so you can see the websites how they're meant to be made if they're made with Flash. There's also just the app drawer here with a number of Google apps such as Gmail. And here's my emails. I've just got order cancellations and orders from the Google Market. And they have changed, Motorola have changed a number of things, like you don't get the standard text messaging app. They've made this app so it works better with Moto Blur. And there's also some other things. Motorola made the email app. It's a bit like the Gmail app, but it allows different types of accounts. You can add a account to your Motorola by going into accounts here, and this will load up all of my accounts. Here I've got an email account, a Facebook account, a Last.fm account, a Gmail account, and a Skype account. And then, I'll just show you what accounts you can add. If I tap add account here, you can add MySpace, Facebook, Last.fm, Twitter, email, corporate sync. I'll just zoom in here. Picasa, PhotoBucket. Don't know why you'd want Bebo, but okay, if that's what you're into. LinkedIn and Yahoo. And these are other accounts that are provided by apps you've downloaded. And once you put in your username and password, then it syncs with Motorola and you're away. Right, so the biggest thing about this phone is the QWERTY keyboard. It's one of the few Android phones with QWERTY keyboards in the UK, and this one really is one of the best. If I zoom out here, you can see the keys aren't too raised. They are slightly raised, more so than on the original Milestone. But the keys are really nice and big, and they're raised just enough so that you can type without looking. You know where each key is. It's an improvement on the original Milestone because they've got rid of the big 4-way D-pad they had here and just got 4 arrow keys now instead. So that makes it they've got more room for each key. So it's a big improvement, and I can type really fast on it. Well, as fast as I can anyway. If I type here, now a phone's not a phone unless you can make calls on it, and on the whole this phone has really good signal strength. I've held it on lots of different ways, and there's been no really bad way of holding it. You can hold it in any way, unlike the iPhone 4. There's no way it will kill signal. I've had signal just about everywhere I've been. That's between 4 and 5 bars of signal, so that's like perfect signal. So yeah, the signal strength is really good, and also the speech is very good as well. The people on the other end can hear me perfectly well, and I can hear them crystal as well, providing they have a good phone with a good microphone as well. But yeah, the speaker here is really good for calls. So on to the other connectivity things. Basically, it's got Wi-Fi, BG, and N. So it supports all the latest routers, so you'll get the fastest speed out of your router if you have an N-enabled router. It's got 2 and 3G and runs HSDPA at 10.2 megabits per second, which will give you really fast mobile internet. So when you're away from home, you'll have internet that's really fast, so you can buffer YouTube videos, load websites really quickly. And yeah, the connectivity is really good. I've never lost a Wi-Fi signal as long as I'm in range, so yeah, it's very good. Battery life on this phone will really depend on how many social accounts and how often you use it. I don't really use Motorola too often, as I believe it slows down the phone considerably. So the battery life is actually really good on this phone for me. But I'll get a good day and a half of quite heavy usage out of it. Although if you do have multiple like Facebook, Twitter, and other social network accounts going through Motorola, basically it syncs every 15 minutes or whenever you want it to, and that uses the battery power quite a lot. So yeah, if you want to save battery, you can turn off or turn down how often Motorola syncs. Right, so I've been harping on about the camera for quite some time now, so I'll just start up the camera app. I can do it by holding the camera key there. It's not a bad camera app really. You've got a little red square that you can take around here to choose your point of focus. You take a photo by tapping here. It auto-focuses and then takes the picture. There's different scenes: steady shot, automatic, portrait, landscape, sport, night portrait, sunset, macro, and back to steady shot again. Oh, whoops. There's different effects. There's normal, black and white, negative, sepia, solarize, red tint, green tint, and blue tint. I'll just go for normal. You can change the flash mode. You can switch to video camera mode, although it's not really the most fully featured camera app on an Android device. I mean, there's no options for white balance really, and if you're a keen photographer, a keen mobile photographer, then it's not really the phone for you. On the whole, we really like this phone. The build quality is really nice. It's like one of the best built phones we've ever used. It's like nice and heavy in the hand and doesn't feel at all tacky. It is made out of plastic on the back and has metal on the front, although it's not a tacky kind of plastic. It does feel, it's like a soft touch, which makes it feel very nice. So yeah, we're really impressed with the build quality. We'd give that 9 out of 10. Feature wise, we'd give it 8 out of 10 because it has all the features you'd expect from a smartphone, such as email. It has really good social networking integration, and on the whole it's just an amazing phone. It's one of the best phones we've ever reviewed, and throw in a QWERTY keyboard and a 1 GHz processor and you've got one of the best phones around at the moment. So for that reason, we give this phone a 9 out of 10.